So, well, what do you think about that? And what do you think about Trump's flat tax? Today I'm going to teach you how to talk about politics without getting sucked into the negativity and having people ruin your day, and to converse like a mature adult. It can be very challenging. People seem to completely lose all their social skills and all their civilness and all of their gravitas the minute a political candidate comes up in conversation. So the first thing I want you to do to form your ideas and your thoughts is sit down at a table with a piece of paper or a spreadsheet or a Word document on your computer and think about all the issues that are very important to you, and then write down why. And you can't use a single line or soundbite or rhetoric clip that you heard on the TV. So many people just repeat things that they think sound good that they haven't even thought through. You'll ask them one clarifying question about it and they get mad and defensive because they haven't thought it through. They don't know the answer. So the first thing you can do to be a mature adult in these conversations is understand why you have these different perspectives. Not because some good-looking guy in a tie that they said went to Harvard said it and it sounded good. That is the first step. Okay, once you've had that, we need to understand that in these discussions, you never want to convince someone of your beliefs or what you think or your candidate. All you want to do is express your thoughts and why you have those thoughts. So if there's an issue that's very important to you, well, maybe it had something to do with your family at a young age, or maybe it had something that's very near and dear to you. Well, you can express that. This leads me to my second point. You want to focus on topics, not people. When people are so adamant about gung-ho, oh no, we got to talk about him. He's the one. Well, why not talk about the topics? Isn't it the topics that have you, or the ideas or the policies that have you behind and supporting them? When I hear people just cling straight to a specific candidate and only talk rhetoric about them and not talk about the issues, makes me realize that they're probably very emotionally bought into this person and maybe haven't done as much due diligence or critical thinking about some of the ideas that they have behind them. Conversation about religion and politics typically has no upside because, first of all, you're really not gonna convince anyone that they're wrong and you're right. And secondly, when you don't, both parties in the conversation end up leaving in a bad mood because I can't believe that person didn't see it the way they do. Oh, can you believe Billy? Can you believe him? Never an upside. So I personally always try to skate around these conversations. I shouldn't say skate around, but I try to drive them away from the political point and then talk more about the issue. So typically when people bring something up about politics because something came up in conversation that made them think about that. So maybe talk more about that issue and ask them more questions about, what happened? It sounds like you're kind of passionate about that. Did something happen at a young age, or what? Why do you feel that way? And then you're going to get the conversation more towards feelings, which is more entertaining for you too. It's much more enjoyable to talk about feelings than to talk about people's political stance on things. So skew the conversation, slowly turn the conversation to a topic of interest, a topic more about emotions, because it's just for a better conversation. Now, one of the things that I like to do, just to show that I don't care, is to throw out two sides when I bring it up. So one of the things, one of my first videos I ever made years ago talks about how truly confident people, they don't care if they convince other people of what they think because it's meaningless to them. Am I really going to get worked up and mad and angry because Joe Schmo doesn't see things the way I do? Is it my job to show everyone on this planet that my way is right and their way is wrong? Maybe my way is wrong. Maybe I'll learn something a week from now that's going to completely disprove everything that I thought. It's just not worth my breath trying to convince someone else that I'm right and they're wrong. And to show that, I'll throw out the old two-sider. So what I'll do, let's take an issue like China. So everyone's talking about different things like China. I know that like Cruz and Clinton have proposed different changes. Everyone says they're going to change relationships with China because they've been a little lax. I think Trump says he's going towards a flat tax for 30%. I need to stop talking about Trump because everyone is adamant that the minute I talk about Trump, that I'm a supporter of Trump. I don't know why they can't see. I say, okay, we're talking about Trump to learn some things about him socially. I'm not giving any indication of my support. But anyway, So let's look at Trump's 30% flat tax. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to say, they say, well, what do you think about that? And what do you think about Trump's flat tax? I'd say, well, it seems to me like we have been a little bit lax with trade with China over the last 10 years. I don't necessarily know if a 30% flat tax is right. What do you think? Making no statements. I'm just saying, hey, this seems like it's been a little lax. I don't know if that's going to work, this and this and this, because it's hard for someone to get angry. I mean, it's amazing how people can get mad about politics over meaningless things. But if you don't show any emotion behind either side and you're bringing up both sides equally, I don't know. I think Hillary Clinton's got some good ideas about this. And I think that some of the Republican candidates have some pretty strong ideas about this. What do you think? You're not pigeonholing yourself. It's keeping the conversation light and untied to anything. And that's the way you can still talk about politics and not get heated, simply by not identifying or supporting any of that stuff. And if you want to, fine. Let's say you are passionate about something and someone's got an opposing view. Bring it up, but see where it goes. All you're going to do is get mad and get worked up, and you're not going to convince them your way is right. So it's going to be a lose-lose. I'm a big advocate in social interaction. You should always be looking for a win-win, and I'm confident you can do that, but you need to know what to stay away from. This is truly the quicksand of conversation, because everyone's going to lose. Everyone's going to leave getting beat up and covered in sand, gasping for breath. So I would suggest to you, if you want to be a civilized adult, if you don't want to get drugged down, if you don't want to get worked up, if you don't want to get put in a bad mood, shy away from this. Try the old two-sider where you bring up both sides if people are adamant about you giving a position on something. Otherwise, start talking more about emotions and their thoughts on other things and drive the conversation to a little more pleasant topics. Enjoy. It's only going to get more intense until the general election is around. Try these things out. Leave me a comment below. Leave me a comment about some of the craziest stuff you ever seen happen. Has someone gone from 0 to 100 in anger when you brought up a political topic? Or some people have the ability to turn any conversation straight towards a political issue, which is also amazing. Let me know what you think. Like the video if you did, and I will talk to you soon.